If you're moving to Rochester, New York, chances are you're probably wondering, what on earth is there for me and my family to do in Rochester? Well, I'm going to give you a list of 10 things that you're going to enjoy. Number 2 and 3 are my personal favorites, but stick around to the very end because chances are there's going to be something further down on the list that you and your family are going to enjoy as well. Let's hop into it. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. My name's Anthony. I'm with the American home team at EXP here in Rochester in the Finger Lakes region. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're notified every Tuesday and Thursday that I release a new video. And with that being said, as much as I love making these videos on all things pertaining Rochester and Finger Lakes living, I would love even more to help you with those real estate needs. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, reach out to that information at the bottom of your screen. I am the guy that answers those texts, emails, and phone calls. So don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions at all. Get the process started. And without further ado, if you're moving to the area, you're probably wondering, what on earth is there for me and my family to do in Rochester? Maybe it's a place you've never heard of before. You're getting relocated for your job or whatever your situation is, right? It's always important to find things to do when you're moving to a new area. It kind of helps you curb that homesickness, right? It keeps your mind busy. We always say that an idle mind is the devil's playground, right? So you have to keep you and your family's mind busy with different activities to be able to go out and do things and have fun and enjoy your experience here. If you move to a new area and you don't get out and do anything, of course you're going to hate it. There's a lot of people in the comments who are commenting that they hate the area, and chances are I'm willing to bet that they're not going out and exploring the different activities that the Rochester region has to offer. So, without further ado, I'm going to be going over 10 things for you and your family to do when you move to Rochester. Let's go. All right, so moving right into it. Number 1, the first thing is the Strong National Museum of Play. I know we've mentioned it on the channel before, but the Strong National Museum of Play is located right in the heart of the city of Rochester. And it has a wide and extensive variety of interactive games and just play-related exhibits. The whole point of the Strong National Museum of Play is almost like a Montessori school, if you will, where it's educational-based play. So through playing in the museum, through all these games and different activities that they have at the museum, there's other things that you're learning about. There's, you're learning about, history and cultural experiences and just different things like that. It's great for kids, and it's actually really fun for parents to go as well. So we took our daughter when she was, I think she was about 1 when we took her to the National Museum of Play, and I think it would be better if the youngest you had them there is like 2 years old, just so they can kind of understand a little bit more about what's going on. They can take some of the educational experience away from it, and there's just more for them to do if they're a little bit older. They can run around a little bit more. They can have more fun, right, without kind of hyper analyzing everything that's going on around them like a 1-year-old would do, right? So there's just a lot of different things to do for kids, and it lets their imagination run and just allows them to play while learning, and it's just a really cool experience for a lot of different kids. Moving right into number 2 is one of my favorites, is the Seneca Park Zoo. Obviously, it's a zoo, so they're going to have lions, tigers, bears, things like that. All the animals that you would come to expect at a zoo. They have giraffes, they have rhinoceroses, they have amphibians, they've got polar bears and all sorts of animals there. And what's cool about it for kids, especially besides the animals, is that they have tons of play areas for kids to run around and like playgrounds. So, it's not just the animals. It's not just walking through and seeing the animals. It's also stopping and getting a bite to eat, and it's just enjoying the park, if you will. So Seneca Park Zoo is really fun for a lot of families. It is a smaller park, or a smaller zoo rather. It's not huge. You can do it in a couple hours. You can walk through the zoo in just a couple hours with your family, and you can go in the wintertime, you can go in the summertime, and it's still a good time regardless of when you go. Different exhibits might be open at different times of the year. I'm not really too sure about that. But what's nice is that they actually, so a lot of the schools around here will take field trips to the zoo, and they teach them about the animals. They teach them about the wildlife preservation, and all that goes into the zoo, right? And so it's a pretty cool thing. Like I said, it's one of my favorites for me and my family. We love going to the zoo. Just a good time for everybody involved. Number 3 is going to be the Seabreeze Amusement Park. Guys, this amusement park is just, it's so much fun. It's located in Irondequoit, actually close to the Seneca Park Zoo. And so it's right outside of the city of Rochester. And, you know, growing up as a kid, we used to go there. It's not super expensive to go, and there's a lot of kid-friendly rides and activities to do. So Seabreeze has always been a part of my life. And in growing up through schools around this area, you're going to go to Seabreeze as a field trip, most likely. So you get to run around with your classmates. And, you know, funny story, it wasn't funny to me at the time, but I forget what grade we were in, maybe 5th grade or something like that. And we went with the class to Seabreeze, and they had the pirate ship ride, right? Where it swings back and forth and it gets higher and higher every time. And my one friend and I, you know, we were running onto the ride right before they were closing the gates, and we got the last seat at the very end of the ship. So at the very end of the ship, you're going to go higher than everybody else, and you're going to feel like you're upside down a little bit more than everybody else. So we got on the ride, and when they were buckling everybody down, the bar was not all the way down. It locked, you know, probably a good foot or two off of our laps. And so both of us, we were trying to signal to the attendant that was there, and, you know, they were saying, oh, it's fine, it's fine. And I'm pretty sure my thought process might be distorted because of the time, but we were basically on our hands and knees under the seat trying to hold on because we were so scared. Obviously, nothing happened. I think that we were probably overanalyzing it or just making it a bigger deal than it actually was. If we had just sat in our seats, we probably would have been fine. But we were scared shitless, to say the least. But the amusement park has something for every age. It's got roller coasters, it's got, you know, water slides, it's got the ring toss games, it's got everything that you want to do, like an arcade. And so Seabreeze is an amazing time for the whole family. Everybody can go and enjoy the rides, and, you know, they're coming out with new stuff all the time. Every year they're coming out with new rides and new different like themes and stuff like that. So really fun. You need to get you and your family there when you come here. Number 4 on the list is the Rochester Museum and Science Center. So this is more science related, obviously, and it's super educational for kids to go, and they have exhibits on almost everything science related: biology, physics, astronomy, you know, just literally every single science discipline that you could ever get into, they have. They have planetary displays, they have, or planetarium shows, they have hands-on workshops. So kids will never run out of educational opportunities at the Rochester Museum and Science Center. It's just an amazing place. I don't know if I've been there since I was a young kid. I don't recall going since I was, you know, in school age. And that being said, though, which is a good point, that this is also a place that a lot of the grade schools in the area will take a field trip to for, you know, obviously the educational opportunities, just something fun to do that the kids go and they learn. And of course, if you're a parent and you're taking your kids there, it's just a great time seeing them engage and interact with all the different displays and exhibits and stuff, and, you know, watch the little shows that they have going on, and just a cool time. I'd imagine for a parent. We haven't taken my daughter to it yet, but we probably will in the near future. It's just, you know, something that's a great educational opportunity for a lot of kids. Number 5 on the list is going to be the Genesee Country Village and Museum. This is actually a really cool area. I honestly don't know a ton about it. I haven't been myself. I know my wife has. But it's really cool for families to go to and see the history of the region that we live in here, right? So basically what it is, it's like a little village that you go through, and they do reenactments of what life was like here in Rochester in the 19th century. So they'll do different demonstrations and things showcasing the traditional crafts, farming techniques, and historical reenactments. So they have the costumed like role players that you can go and interact with, and you kind of see what life was like in the 19th century here in the Rochester area. This is located in Mumford, New York. So Mumford is right outside of Rochester. kind of out in the country so that you can get that country feel and accurately represent what life was like in the 19th century. Whereas if it were in the city of Rochester, you would not get that very accurately. It would be distorted just because you have buildings everywhere and stuff. So you get to explore the historic buildings in there, and it's just a really cool kind of thing. You know, I think about all the holiday displays that different towns and cities will have where you go and interact with the role players and things like that. So just a cool experience if you want to see what the Rochester area was like in the 19th century. Number 6 on the list is going to be Highland Park. Highland Park is located in Rochester, in the city of Rochester. It's over by Strong Memorial Hospital, or Highland Hospital rather. And you know, honestly, it's just a park, but just 2 weekends ago, they just finished having the Lilac Festival. So there's a bunch of lilac trees and people love to come. They set up tents basically of different foods, different drink options, and it's like a festival. You walk through, you kind of look at the lilac trees because they're beautiful. You look at the different landscapes. It's rolling hills around there, and there's live music oftentimes. And in the times where the Lilac Festival is not going on, there may be other festivals going on there too. But, you know, sometimes you'll just see people having a picnic in the park because the landscape is so beautiful and there's so much space. Green space around there. There are some sport fields as well. There's miles of walking trails throughout Highland Park. And so you can go exercise there. And so again, it's a park, but it's beautiful. It's in the city, so it's just like it's a different type of vibe. I would imagine it'd be very small scale of like Central Park in New York City or something like that, where it's just kind of in the city, but it feels like nature. There's just a lot that goes on there. There's a lot that you can do, from exercising to having a picnic to walking a festival, or, you know, what have you. So definitely go check out Highland Park if you're in the area. All right, and number 7 is the Strong Museum of Medicine. So as you can see, Rochester has no shortage of museums. There's all sorts of ones, and this isn't even the last one on the list. So stick around to the very last one for another museum that you guys might like. So the Strong Museum of Medicine, this one honestly doesn't really interest me too much. This is just not my field. I'm not really into healthcare or medicine, but my sister, who is a pharmacist, has probably been there several times. And what they do is they have interactive displays of, you know, the history of healthcare and the history of medicine, and, you know, kind of go through the educational opportunities of healthcare and medicine, kind of get you to learn about the history of it and the way moving forward as far as healthcare and medicine goes. So there's not a ton that I personally know about it, but it is a cool opportunity if you're into healthcare and you're into learning about medicine and those kind of things. It's very cool to get out there, and that is, I believe that's right on East Ave in the city of Rochester. So it's a big old Tudor house, and I think it was an original pharmacy back in the day. So, you know, really cool, but just something that personally doesn't interest me as far as learning about, but there are a lot of people that go. It's very popular in the area, and a lot of people go and bring their family there, and they learn about healthcare and medicine. So really cool that Rochester has all these different educational opportunities for families to go, and there's definitely no shortage of education here. Number 8 on the list is actually one of my favorite things, and that is a beach. So we're talking about the Ontario Beach Park. Ontario Beach Park is located just north of Charlotte, which is right outside of the city of Rochester, and it lines Lake Ontario. And it's a big beach park. You can go and, you know, obviously set picnics. You can have parties there, and it's just a beautiful beach on Lake Ontario. And, you know, the rapids aren't crazy unless there's a storm coming through or something like that. But if you haven't seen Lake Ontario, I think it resembles an ocean basically, because you can't see the other side of it. Obviously, it's not an ocean. Don't come at me about that. I know that. But it's so big that you can't see the other side of it, and the other side of it is Canada. So it seems like you're on an ocean, and having a beach right here in Rochester is pretty cool. Now, I live on Canandaigua Lake, where there's, you know, some small beaches, but it's nothing like the Ontario Beach Park, where you actually get a real feel of like what it would be like if you went to the ocean, right? And so in the warmer months, in the summertime, a lot of people go and they throw picnics, or they throw a party over there, or, you know, graduation parties, things like that. So the beach park is just great for families of all sizes, or if you're an individual there. I know that there's been some movies recorded on the beach park as well. I think small indie films or something like that. But, you know, it's a super popular area for a lot of people here who are looking to get out into the water and, you know, spend some time at the beach as if they were like down south or on the coast or something. But maybe don't have the means of doing that, or just at the time it's not, you know, they're not on vacation. You can get it right here at home, go to the beach, enjoy the water, build sandcastles, do whatever you want to do. It's just a really good time at the beach park. All right, so number 9, we're talking about the Cumming Nature Center. So we're moving south of Rochester and we're going all the way down to Naples. So we're escaping the city feel. Naples and the Cumming Nature Center is very scenic. There's tons of green space there, and it's a nice, beautiful retreat from the city, right? So you can get out in nature, and that's the whole point of the Cumming Nature Center, is to get in nature and to become one with nature and learn about the different ecosystems, and, you know, learn about the different flowers and the different plants, and anything within the ecosystem that you can learn, they've got it there at Cumming Nature Center. I know that at Cumming Nature Center, they have some schools. So actually, I do know, personally, I know some people who have gone to school at the Cumming Nature Center. And basically, they had an outdoor school system where they, you know, they learned their math and their English and their history and all those, but they did it out in nature. A lot of them are self-proclaimed like tree huggers. They love being in nature. You know, that doesn't mean they're hippies or whatever, right? But, or what you would stereotype a hippie to be, but they are one with nature. They know a lot about nature and, you know, just enjoy the natural beauty. And Cumming Nature Center is an amazing place. You go there and you just feel like you're in a different world, because, you know, it doesn't even feel like it's, you know, 40 minutes from Rochester or however far it is, right? It feels like you're on a different planet, basically. It's just a really cool place to take the family, go and explore the nature center and learn about the different ecosystems and learn about the rocks under the rivers and things like that. So things that I'm not really great at talking about, but I love learning about it. It's all really cool stuff. I love being in nature, and, you know, nature just does something to you where you just feel better, right? You're breathing in the fresh air, you're getting the views of the water, you have the grass in your toes, and it just does something different to you where you feel different, you feel happier, you feel more upbeat, you feel more lively, and you just feel fresh, right? So Cumming Nature Center, definitely don't miss it. You need to get there if you have a family and you're in the area. And last but not least, number 10 is going to be the George Eastman Museum. This museum highlights George Eastman, who is the founder of Kodak, Eastman Kodak company, which is we all know Kodak for the cameras and the, you know, the films and whatnot, right? It's, basically the pioneer of film. So it goes over his impact on photography and cinema. And then it also goes over the history of photographs, different cameras, in just like the evolution of visionary arts, I guess, or visual arts. Is that what you say? Visual arts. So it's really cool to get out there and see. And that was right here in Rochester. And George Eastman was here in Rochester and started all of this. And it's become such a staple in the film industry. If you're in the film industry, you know George Eastman and you know Kodak, and it was started here. So if you're interested in learning all about, you know, visual arts and film and movies and documentaries and different cameras and photography and videography and, you know, the evolution and history of all of that, George Eastman Museum will not disappoint. You will learn a lot. Even if you think that you're very educated about that kind of stuff, you will learn even more, I promise you. So definitely get there, and that is in the city of Rochester as well. So there's 5 museums just in the city of Rochester that you can take your family to and learn a lot about whatever museum you're at, right? It's whether it's the George Eastman Museum, you're learning about film and visual arts, or it's the Museum of Medicine, you're learning about healthcare and medicine, or playtime like a Montessori school type thing. There's a lot to do for you and your family. And so that's always been one of my biggest pieces of advice is when you move to a new area, no matter where you're going, whether it's Rochester or you're moving to Toronto or New York City or literally anywhere, you need to get out and do something. You need to get out and see the area and see what the area has to offer. Of course, if you're going to sit inside, if you move to an area and you sit inside, you're going to be miserable. You have to go out and do things. You have to go out and engage. You have to go out and just explore the different opportunities, because no matter where you go, there's going to be something to do. And so, you know, just get out and explore. Get out and see the area. Get out and learn some things, and get different perspectives on the areas that you're moving to. So if you're coming to Rochester, here's 10 great things for you to do so that you don't sit inside and become depressed. So get out and do stuff. Get out and learn. Get out and gain some perspective on, you know, what your area has to offer. It's just really cool to see these kind of things, and it's why I pointed them out. And these are just 10 things. There's hundreds more things to do. So maybe I'll be making another video excluding these 10 things, but then, you know, including some other things. And there's no shortage of things to do in and around Rochester. Obviously, not all of these things are in the city of Rochester, but a lot of them were. And then a lot of the other ones were short drives outside of Rochester. There's just a lot to do. A lot going on in Rochester, a lot going on in the Finger Lakes. And so you really can never run out of things to do. It's just a good time. A lot is going on. So hope you got something from this video. If you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're notified every Tuesday and Thursday that I release a new video. And with that being said, as much as I love making these videos for you on all things Rochester and Finger Lakes living, I would love even more to help you with those real estate needs. So the information that's popping up on the bottom of your screen, be sure to call, text, email. I am the guy that answers those calls, texts, and emails. And until the next video, guys, see ya.